Let him laugh, let him weep, let him yell, let him sing. Only one I say. Let him lay me traps and men to pray to Jehovah, me I pray. Let him laugh, let him weep, let him yell, let him sing. Only one I say. Let him lay me traps and men to pray to Jehovah, me I pray. Let I be me instead of playing games. For chasing fame, let somebody sweat the lack of flames. No, living my life to the fullest and shout out my halala to the fullest. Let my lungs out. I'm still rising up to greater heights as long as I'm
so excited to be here. It's a plum-pleasing pleasure as well as a privilege.
Yes, and back at you, sir. And to all of us that get to be with you today, thank you for being on the Pamela Show. Hey, John!
Hello, Pamela. Great to be here. Super excited. How are you doing?
Oh, it is so exciting. Well, everybody, this is John Tallarico. Hi, and welcome to the Pamela Show, where we learn and we grow together. I am so excited to introduce to you my dear friend, Rial Kunini. She is just an amazing human all the way around. On top of that, she is an incredible motivational speaker and an amazing author and visionary author as well, which means she puts together book collaborations, which means bringing authors from all around together to have the mindset for one book, and everybody brings and adds a chapter. It is a huge undertaking. I am so excited to have her here today. I know you are going to learn and grow so much. So with no further ado, will you help me welcome to the Pamela Show, Rial? Come on in, Rial. Hi, and welcome to the Pamela Show, where remember, we learn and we grow together. Thank you for showing up today. Well, this is going to be another amazing episode because today I have my very good friend, Rial, with me. Now, Rial, I am going to try to say your full name, and then you're going to correct me here in front of everybody, and then I'm going to say it the right way so that we all know how to say it. All right? So, Nampumela, is that right? Nampumela?
Nompumelelo.
Nampumelelo, is that right?
Yes,
All right.
you played it perfect.
Oh, good. And then the last name, Kunini or Kunin?
Kunene. Kunene. Yes.
Wow, isn't that a beautiful name that she has? Now, I call her Rial because that I don't mess up.
Just keep
I wanted you to hear her whole name. And would you say your whole name for us? Because I know you won't mess it up.
Nompumelelo Riel Kunene.
Beautiful, beautiful. And Rial is a dear friend of mine. And we also do a lot of work together in the motivational speaking world and in the author's world and in the coaching world. And she just has a wealth of knowledge, as you already know from what you heard me say about her. So in a moment, we're going to have Rial, introduce herself a little bit more and tell us a little bit more about her story. And she has a message to share with us to give us hope and instruction and guidance today. But Rial, before we do that, you and I both share something in common, and it's a person. And he's our mentor, the legendary Les Brown. And I wanted to share one of his quotes today, and it says this: ask yourself if you are one of the good people that successful people want to be around. Now, when I read that, I literally read it, Rial, and I was like, oh, pause and reflect.
Yeah.
Am I one of those people? Like, really pause and reflect. And I had to think about people that are successful in any stage of their life. Who are those people that I want to be around? And of course, I just took that right back to Les in general, right? Because he quoted it. What is it about him that I love to be around? And so many people want to be around Mr. Les Brown, and that's why he's been able to help so many of us. So from your unique perspective, what does that quote mean to you?
Oh my goodness. You've just dropped like a bomb in front of my face right now. Okay, where do I even start, really? But honestly, like with me listening to this quote, it asked me really, am I a naysayer in someone's life? Am I the king Uzziah or Uzziah, who was more like kind of a blockage before people so that they can see God? Am I an inspiration to those around me, to those who look at me, to those who count on me? Am I that person that they need? Yeah. And he also continued, like Mr. Les Brown, he continued that surround yourself with only quality people. These are the people who will take you to your destination. These are the people who will hold you accountable for all of your actions. So am I that one? That's how I view it.
Oh, that brings it home, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That one. I love that. Well, Rial, I know you have an amazing speech, message, presentation, however you want to word it for us today. And I've personally been able to hear you speak before and have heard the power of your messages. I've had the treasure of being on your podcast. And I just know that you operate up here in this higher realm and that you just pull people up with you and to a place of inspiring and ready to take action. And I'm so excited for this time today. Rial, take it away and encourage us today.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I always call you my sister from another mother because you've played that role of being a sister to me. So thank you so much, Sister Pamela, for inviting me to share some nuggets on how to really rise to greater heights. So my name is Rial Kunene, and yes, I am an energetic professional speaker. I am also the author to Rise to Greater Heights book, to Human Rights book, and I am also compiling an amazing book, Resilience to Greatness. All of these books really, they are more of a comprehensive guide to turn your fears into greater success while seizing new opportunities. And so as someone who specializes on mindset, resilience, as well as transformation, I believe that we're in full control of our own choices. My title, Rise to Greater Heights, has inspired and empowered many to pursue their professional and personal passion to become go-getters. So to our viewers online, please feel free. Just put in the chat box if you're watching online. If you have any questions for me, put in the chat box and then I'm going to attend to your questions at the end of my presentation. So before I continue, I just want to double check. I always like double checking. I just want to double check if I'm in the right here. How many of you can say that I have never, ever complained in life? Never, ever complained in life. Seemingly, I am in the right platform because, sometimes in life we go complaining. But today, I just want you to identify what's holding you back. If you can just write it down. What's holding me back? What's holding you back from going confident in the direction of your dreams? What's holding you back from chasing after success? Is it fear, mediocrity, distraction, or maybe procrastination? What's holding you back? What's really holding you back? It's so essential to assess your goals progress, good people, because setting and achieving big goals can be difficult at times. We all have dreams that we're hoping to achieve maybe in our careers, but it feels like there is something just standing in your way. How many of you have ever been in a situation where you felt like the doubts that you have, they then transformed into fears?
Yes.
Yeah. The doubts that you ever had transformed into fears. I'm going to repeat this because doubting yourself can hold you back from living an amazing life. It's very easy to fear being judged and being worried about what others think. In fact, it stops you from acting, making you afraid to even take the first step in life. So, good people, stop letting your fears hold you back. The only remedy that cures your fears is action. So go for your goals and succeed. You may ask me why? Because you can have the drive within you to become what you really want in life. Can you say this after me? I can have the drive within me to become what I really want in life. Yeah. It was Barack Obama who once said, "The future rewards those who press on." I don't have time to feel sorry for myself. I don't have time to complain. I'm going to press on. And this message, it stirred something within me. So let's go out there and press on. Tell yourself, no matter what kind of challenge comes your way, I'm going to press on. And it's so funny how my mom and dad gave me this beautiful, beautiful name, Nompumelelo. Nompumelelo, in my own language, it means mother of all success. And I know my sister Pamela, she had some challenges saying my official first name, Nompumelelo. But one day she's gonna surprise me. So Nompumelelo, really, it means that no matter what kind of challenges I'm coming across, I'll have to press on. I'll have to chase after success. But in order for you to chase after success, you need a mentor or you need a coach who will hold you accountable for the goals that you have. This mentor and a coach, they will align you with your goals. So my advice to anyone who is out there, who is interested in mentorship or coaching, being mentored is one of the most valuable you want to achieve maybe in the next 6 months. Yeah, I want you, as you think about your dreams and goals, to put this down. Rise to greater heights. Rise to greater heights, because you need to be clear about your career goals to gain guidance on professional development. So as a coach and a mentor, my goal really is to study your current situation, identify your limiting beliefs and other potential obstacles that you may face, and then design a plan of inspired action to empower you to achieve specific outcomes in your life. As flight attendants always say that, put on your oxygen mask first before you assist others, because if you don't, you and the other person you're trying to help could possibly go down. So I would encourage you really to go out there, search for a mentor, search for a coach who will hold you accountable for your actions, for everything that you do in life. You need someone to hold you accountable. You may be surprised because even with mentors and coaches, they also have their own mentors. They also have their own coaches who holds them accountable. Because at the end of the day, failure shouldn't be our undertaker, but an opportunity to begin again and again as long as you learn from it. Blaming others of not reaching your goals can paralyze you in life, and it can make your dreams become impossible. So please, good people, handle failure with dignity. Handle failure with dignity, because you can never ever succeed in life without failing first. And remember that you have a right for everything in this world. You were born with 30 universal human rights, and those human rights can never ever be taken away from you. These are rights that you are born with it, and you will die with them. And you really don't have to be politically involved to know about your human rights or to learn about your human rights. All human beings are entitled to them, and you can never ever be excluded from your own human rights. Maybe you may be asking, exactly what do you mean when you say human rights? I've heard so many people talking about human rights. I can't have that confidence to go out there and start teaching and start telling people about their human rights. What are human rights really? I know many people, they might think of God when they think of human rights. They might think of freedom when they think of human rights. And you're absolutely right when you think that way, because human rights are just the fundamental rights and freedoms that are all inherent to all human beings, regardless of your gender, nationality, place of residency, sex, ethnicity, religion, or even your skin color. Human rights are not just about the law. Thus, human rights are non-discriminatory, meaning all human beings are entitled to them. And remember that a right is a freedom of some kind. It doesn't matter where we are born or what kind of family we are born into. We all have the internal recognition of the moral quality of one's motives and actions. We are all born in this world and should be given the same opportunities and treat each other in such a way as proper to the relation of a brother. So I so wish you can just tell yourself that, you know what? I've already had it. I've had enough. I'll have to make a difference now. I'll have to make a difference in my life. To those who look at me as an inspiration, I'll have to make a difference in my community. Spread the good news. Be the bearer of good news always. But in order for you to make that difference, you've got to be hungry. You've got to be hungry like the hungry lion in the jungle. That hungry lion in the jungle, really, it doesn't matter what kind of animal comes his way. It doesn't matter if you're that giant elephant or that small squirrel by the jungle. All that hungry lion sees in front of his face is lunch. Lunch. And it's so funny because even with elephants, when they see a lion, what they do is that they run. It's all about the mindset. Once you believe, you become. They already told themselves that, you know what, I'm a lunch to that lion. So each and every time when I see that lion, I'll have to run. I believe that that's the mindset that we need in order for us to go out there and make a difference, spread the good news, tell people their human rights. Really, to me, the whole idea about the issue of human rights being violated and this and that, I can't be an activist. I can't just go out there and being on the street protesting. But I know that all human beings are entitled to these human rights. To me, honestly, it was the death of George Floyd that made me to realize that we need to stand for a world where no one shall live in fear because maybe of their skin color, and where the criminal justice system treats everyone fairly and equally. If you can remember very well, last year on May 25th, George Floyd died in police custody in Minneapolis, Minnesota, in your city, Sister Pam. And this 46-year-old black man, he was arrested and killed after a convenience store employee called 911 on Floyd's suspicion of passing a counterfeit $20 bill. The video that was captured by a bystander, it shows George Floyd pinned face down on the ground in handcuffs, and one of the police officers kneeling on his neck as he was pleading for help. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. And finally, he fell silent. May his soul rest in eternal peace. It is so impossible not to be outraged watching that video of the Minneapolis officer pressing his knee against Floyd's neck for a period initially reported to be 8 minutes and 46 seconds. I believe that everyone is born free and has the right to life. So no one should ever be subject to such unjustified violence. Hence, I am here to educate everyone to know their human rights. So good people, this is a wake-up call. This is a wake-up call. But when that alarm clock goes off, please, please, don't ever hit the snooze button. Don't be like, I will wake up in the next 2 minutes. I will wake up in the next 4 minutes. You know what? Forever is a long time. So why don't you wake up, get going, and chase after success and make a difference and try to identify exactly what's holding you back. You know, it's so funny. When I was in the 8th grade, I was nicknamed Phoenix. I was nicknamed Phoenix after writing a composition using the idiomatic expression that says, I rose from the ashes like a phoenix bird, meaning I became successful again. And it's so funny with that English teacher, really. She didn't know that the nickname Phoenix, it resonates with me. It also aligns with my destiny because for those of you who doesn't know the phoenix bird is a Greek mythological bird believed to rise from its own ashes after being buried like hundreds of years ago. This immortal creature acquires new life by rising from the ashes of its own ancestor, which represents our capacity for vision and success. So I want to encourage you as you're watching, as you're listening today, that when your world comes crashing down, wear your scars to show how a phoenix feels like to die from inside, and trust in your own capability to rise from your own ashes. Since the phoenix has to die first, burn, experience pain before resurrection from its own ashes. Please write this down, or write this down in conclusion. Resilience to greatness. Resilience to greatness. If I can be honest with you, I don't know what goals maybe you've set for the next 6 months. But here's one thing I know about you. You are destined for greatness. Inside of you, God has put seeds of excellence. Those seeds are supposed to grow and flourish. But many people have become crippled by their past encounters. And some have stepped over other people to get to the top. But I believe that God has a better plan for every one of us. Your objective is what you were designed for and the reason why you live today. With God, I believe that we're all destined for greatness as long as we follow his strategy. This is when the growth commences because discovering your gift and following God's idea will make you understand that you have everything around you to reach to your full potential.
Ascend Above the Crowd is the newest course by Pamela Hinkle. Ascend is a self-paced email course that will come directly to your inbox and will change your mindset and your life. Each week, you will receive lessons, resources, challenges, and journal writings that will help you discover your purpose by design. It's your time to ascend above the crowd. To learn more about Ascend, go to www.purposewithpamela.com/ascend.
Wow. Within you, seeds of greatness. Isn't that powerful? Let that sink into you for a moment. Within you is seeds of greatness. Now you're going to want to come back and hear and watch as Riel unpacks what all that means for us next week on The Pamela Show. You are here on purpose, with a purpose, by design, not by default. We'll see you next week. Take care.
Pamela Hinkle is the founder of the Purpose Center. Pamela is a mindset mentor, author, speaker, minister, and transformation coach. Her weekly podcast, international radio show, and television show are a lifeline that changes lives and inspires people to discover their individual potential through realizing their purpose by design. Pamela is a natural motivator and has shown many how to find their niche and transform their lives. Although success is an uphill battle, Pamela gives the necessary strategies to flourish, cheering you on every step of the way. Pamela shares from her personal experiences, education, and life as a woman in leadership, utilizing decades of knowledge. Taking the approach of, let's have coffee and chat, she will awaken your dreams and purpose by design. Are you ready for Pamela to help guide you? Email us at purposewpamela.office@gmail.com or go to her website at purposewithpamela.com.
You are here on purpose with a purpose by design and not by default. And it is your time right now to share your story on Right Now. Hey everybody, welcome back to Right Now, an author's platform. This is the Right Now International radio show and podcast. And we're so glad that you are back and you're here because you want to hear from authors, right? Well, I am bringing them to you. So here we go. Today, I have with me my what? She's an author. You already have heard about her, but I want to welcome Riel. Riel, we're so glad you're here today and excited to hear about not just one book you have coming out, but two. And you're going to tell us all about that in just a moment. But first, you know that I love quotes. I love quotes and I love scriptures.
Bring it on, sis.
So I have one for you about writers, and I would love to hear your take on this. It says this: I only write when I'm inspired. So I see to it that I'm inspired every day. I think that's powerful about taking the bull by the horns, really, right? So we're taking the bull by the horns and we're saying, I'm going to choose to be inspired every day so I can write.
Yeah.
I write, not maybe as often or as much as you do. I mean, you turn out books like this. You have to stay inspired to write. I can't just sit down and start writing without there being an inspiration. So I love the fact of putting ownership back on yourself with this quote. So from your unique perspective, especially how you turn books out so quickly, and then you're going to talk about being a visionary writer, which is when you're gathering all these contributing authors together, right? And having us all work together. How do you stay inspired? And what does this quote mean to you?
On a twist that code a little bit, I was going to say, I only write to inspire. Whenever I am challenged, I write because I feel like I should get the message out there because this thing is really bothering me. For example, like with me throughout the whole pandemic, there was when I was trying like to evaluate exactly what was holding me back. What was holding me back from achieving my goals, going confident in the direction of my dreams? What was holding me back? So that was the first chapter. And then, like, to inspire others, I was like, you know what? Now cultivate your mindset for success. After you identified what was holding you back. So to me, really, it's like I'm just writing when I am challenged to inspire.
I love that. I love how you turned that.
Yeah.
That you stay inspired by being an inspiration.
Yes.
That is really good. You stay inspired by writing about anything that is challenging you, but writing about it from a point of view that is going to inspire others, which is going to inspire you.
Yes.
Oh, that is so good. Thank you for taking that twist on it. And I know everybody is excited to hear all about these books that you have coming out. You have one that you've solo authored. You have one where, as I already sort of alluded to, that you are the visionary author. And I have to say, I am blessed and fortunate and highly favored to be one of the contributing authors. Yes, I am. So it is just a double privilege and honor to have you here for obvious reasons. So Riel, my dear friend and my author, because you're not just my friend, but you also are someone that we work together in so many fields. And yet on this one, you're my sister author on this podcast. Share with us all about these upcoming projects.
Yes, honestly, really, I'm just gonna go back. Thank you so much, my sister, for having me, Sister Pamela, for having me again on your radio show. It's always a pleasure, like to keep on coming, and no one will ever get tired of me because each and every time when I come back, I bring something new. So thank you for having me. And I'm gonna take you back when the whole COVID-19 pandemic started. It brought travel to a standstill. So as a corporate travel consultant, I was really, really affected in such a way that I almost approached depression. But God, being God, who is able to guide us, protect us, and do exceedingly things abundantly and above all what we may ask for, He remained faithful. So if you know, like the coronavirus has brought with it a wave of a negative outcome. However, when it comes to the greater good for me, the curse of the whole pandemic, the curse of the whole COVID-19, it became a blessing to me. And I have used this opportunity to be courageous in writing my books when everything was kind of shut down and stuck with my two beautiful munchkins at home. The first book that was born, Rise to Greater Heights book. And then the next one was the Human Rights book, God-given Fundamental Freedoms. That book was born. And now, with so much amazing authors of influence, Resilience to Greatness is just about to be published. How amazing is that? Like these co-authors from all around the world, they have a word for you, a word for your neighbor, a word for your friend, a relative, because they've been all called for greatness. They've been destined for greatness. Their resilience transformed into greatness. And that's the reason why I'm here today to talk about resilience to greatness and also about my human rights book, because during the chaos, I realized the weight of humanity. And then I decided to focus on the positive so that I have the energy and march forward with determination and hope. So Thank you. Thank you so much, my sister, for having me in here. I don't know if you want me to continue or.
Well, let's talk a little bit about your books. So let's
Yes.
start with your human rights book. Could you share and expound a little bit on that and tell us when it'll be out, where we can get it when it comes out, but kind of give us the Cliff Notes version of your book.
Yes. Yeah, with the human rights book, like I've mentioned, that to me, really, it was just the death of George Floyd that made me to realize that we need to stand for a world where no one shall live in fear, maybe because of their skin color, and where the criminal justice system treats everyone fairly and equally. Because I believe that everyone is born free and has the right to life. So my intention writing that book, really, it was to help and heal the world with my own humanity and bridge those gaps that have been built. So the human rights book is more like a comprehensive guide to provide legal information about human rights to the public. I've covered all the universal human rights, Universal Declaration of Human Rights, like the 30 human rights that are found there in the United Nations. You're going to be able to find them on that human rights book, because my everyday book, it says that learn to do good, seek justice, correct oppression, bring justice to the fatherless, and plead the widow's cause. And that's in Isaiah 1:17. So yeah, this book, I believe it's going to play a very, very great impact to people's lives, because many human rights have been violated, like I've mentioned, but I am not an activist, but what I do, I am an analyst, I am an educator. I am out there to spread the knowledge so that this world that we live in can be a better place.
Wow. I like how you said that you are an analyst and an educator.
Yeah.
There are, of course, extremes where people take things in a direction that can become more hurtful than helpful.
Yeah.
You have taken time to analyze, because that's what you said you do.
Mhm,
That you
mhm.
educate people on what their rights are, but
Yes.
something else that you glazed over and you touched on it, but I want to bring it back into central focus.
Yes.
You want people to be educated about the human rights so that they can make a difference in the
Yes.
world. So they know for themselves, but if I know what they are, then if I see something happening that's an injustice, right?
Mhm.
You mentioned your daily book, and I call it my favorite book.
Yes.
Our favorite daily book tells us that if you see something happening to your brother or sister, step up and say something, do
Yes.
something, be the answer, be the help, be the extended hands and feet of Christ is actually another verse that I'm thinking of. And in your book, you've taken a long time to make sure that the details are there. But once ignorance isn't bliss. It isn't. People say that ignorance just gets you into trouble.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
with knowledge is power. So would you
Yeah.
say that if a person reads this book, that it is going to give them power?
I can say 100% it's going to give you the motivation that you need, because you really don't have to be politically involved to know about your human rights. All human beings are entitled to them. So you can never, ever be excluded from your own human rights. Like I've mentioned before, that human rights are just the fundamental rights and freedoms. These are just God-given fundamental rights and freedoms. It doesn't matter where you were born, your race, your ethnicity, your religion. You deserve these human rights. You are just entitled to these human rights, because what they do, they are non-discriminatory, meaning that everyone who is born, who has life, was born with those rights. So it's going to change your life. It's going to change your life, the way you view the world, because what human rights does on our minds is just tells you who you are, know who you are in this world, what you deserve and what you don't deserve. Be treated fairly, yes, with dignity. So it's going to, yeah.
Fairness with dignity. All right. Say the name of the book again and tell us when it will be available and where we find it.
Yes, my book will be available on www.risetogreaterheights.com. It's going to be available. The latest, it's going to be July 27th. So before that, you're going to be able to get yourself a copy from www.risetogreaterheights.com. And my book is just human rights, God-given fundamental freedoms, human rights.
Fabulous. And all of that information, everyone, is in the description. You can go back and find that on your own. Now you have a second work, like, okay, I got to pause here, Riel.
Yes.
So Rise to Greater Heights came out when did you release that?
I released Rise to Greater Heights on my son's birthday. It was released May 3rd. And then the violation of human rights with the George Floyd, it was May 25th. So I started writing human rights on May 25th last year.
You released one in May, began another one in May. That one's coming out here shortly. Plus, then you started this anthology, which we're going to go into now. So just wanted to bring that back and say, y'all, you were listening and talking or hearing someone today, not talking, I don't know where that came from, but you are hearing from someone today or watching someone today who really is an experienced writer, an author in her own right. So, Riel, tell us about the next work that you have with all of the contributing authors. We want to hear about that.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, with the next coming book with these amazing authors. I'm going to talk about them after I told you exactly what this whole book is all about. Resilience to greatness. You know, when I thought of resilience, my aim was just to get the most significant, resilient individuals to contribute to this book. And I got the perfect, if I can say perfect, they'll be coming in this talk show soon. They are just the perfect, because these individuals, I've heard their stories before. I believe that everyone is destined for greatness. So with these individuals, really, they're so amazing. I can't just say enough. With their stories of struggles, that they became lessons in how to stay strong. They believed in a cause bigger than themselves and were persistent in order to achieve their goals. These authors, from resilience to greatness, they defined themselves by impact and difficult challenges, but they were able to overcome all of them. And one of the co-authors is my sister, Pamela Henkel, right here. I'm going to have some few questions at the end for you on your chapter. Oh, she is so amazing. Like when I read her story, I was like, how did you do that? How, like, the courage, how did you like bounce back to life? Yeah, those are the amazing co-authors that I have on Resilience to Greatness, because like I've mentioned, that I believe that everyone is destined for greatness. Inside of every one of us, God has put that seeds of excellence. And those seeds really, they really have to grow and flourish. But one thing I've realized is that many people have become crippled by their past encounters, and some have stepped over other people to get to the top. But I believe that God has a better plan for every one of us. And your objective is what you were designed for and the reason why you live today. So yeah, the Resilience to Greatness book is going to be coming out soon, before mid-July. Yeah, mid-July, because our what do you call our launch? Oh my God. Our book launch is on July 7, 2021. It's like a week or 2 weeks away from now. So you better be ready to join us. Join this movement of amazing, resilient individuals.
What does resilient mean to you? How did you choose that word for part of the title?
You know, being resilient to me, it's like you are that kind of a person who doesn't accept defeat. You just bounce back to life. No matter how much challenges that come your way, you are like, come whatever challenge that you may come, but I will never accept defeat. So that's resilient to me. Like to bounce back just like that. Like you are so ready for anything. Like you are ready for success. You are ready for failure. But you are always like you are born ready, ever ready.
I love that. I love the idea of having bounce back, the
Yeah.
resilient bounce back. That's powerful, Riel.
Mhm.
When it's kind of spearheaded this whole idea of
Yes.
having a anthology book with all these contributing writers. How did you just wake up one day and go, gee, I think I'm going to do that? How did that come to fruition? Kind of walk us through that, because you have already authored 2 books. Why
Yeah.
not just make a third and make it your own? What happened? What process took place that made you want to take on this kind of a project?
No, I'm just gonna get emotional when it comes to that because whew, I believe in fixing each other's crown. I believe that we rise by lifting each other up. I believe that, we are stronger together than me going solo. I wrote my book, best-selling book, but I felt like, to make a difference out there are individuals that you'll have to believe in them, to see the good in them, to make them stand out. That's just me right there, because like with me, honestly, everything I do, I just do it for God. I don't please the world around me. I don't please those that I stand by, but I just please my creator. So I felt like we're gonna look more beautiful if we come together as a group than me, like everywhere I go, it's just me. So when now I carry this Resilience to Greatness book, it's like I'm representing a nation, I'm representing a global movement. To me, it just warms my heart because I believe in my creator. I believe that we look good together, we look good united.
A global movement, a
Yeah.
nation, nations, and really a nation of, because we're people from all over coming together. That is so powerful. So this was birthed out of a desire in you, again, to inspire and help others, and that we're better together, which really kind of goes back to the whole thing of human rights, which really kind of, if you keep the dominoes going backwards, comes back to rise to greater heights.
Yeah.
And wow. Okay, so share with us a little bit about you did allude to that it's going to come out in July, and that there's a book launch and stuff. But for people that are watching and they're like, well, when is the book launch, or where do I find out about the book launch, and how do I get the book? Can I pre-order the book? How do they do that?
Yes, right now pre-orders are just going. They're just flowing. The book is already available on my website, www.risetogreaterheights.com. And you can also RSVP to be part of this movement, to be part of this book launch on July 7th. So you can just email us at admin@risetogreaterheights.com so that we reserve your seat. We just stay ready for you, because you really don't want to miss this summit. You really don't want to miss, to me, really writing, I feel like it's just God who is just breathing words of wisdom into my ears and showers of blessings. So I believe that's the same thing with the other co-authors, because honestly, writing a book is not an easy job. It's just harder. A chapter, like contributing a chapter, is harder. Like having that idea and turning that idea into a chapter or a book, it's as harder as it sounds. So you don't want to miss this. www.risetogreaterheights.com. You can pre-order your book. You can also RSVP through there.
Wow. Okay. And again, all of that is in the description, y'all, so you can find that. Now, what does the virtual book launch look like? I mean, I know I've gone to book tours, had somebody sign the book. But for
Yeah.
people that are going, I've never well, what even happens? I can't get the authors to sign the what do you?
Let him laugh, let him weep, let him yell, let him sing. All they wanna say. Let him name me traps and men to pray to Jehovah, me I pray. Let him laugh, let him weep, let him yell, let him sing. All they wanna say. Let him name me traps and men to pray to Jehovah, me I pray. Let I be me instead of playing games. For chasing fame, let somebody sweat the lack of flames. No, living my life to the fullest and shout out my halala to the fullest. Let my lungs out.